the lower bracket. They're facing elimination. So, if any team is going to be able to rise to the occasion, it'll probably be them. But like I said, there's no free wins in this tournament. Hamsti getting carried. I mean, this is a team a lot of people don't know a lot about, but I think they could absolutely take a series against Method Orange if they play well.
Yeah, what do you think it is about them that gives them that potential to take the series against Method Orange, Fen?
Well, the thing is, I feel like they run a lot of good compositions. Compositions you don't normally see. I mean, the Elemental, Shaman, Shadow Priest, Paladin, I believe, is what they locked in the first game. They have a lot of burst damage, a lot of crowd control, and you can really catch your opponents off guard if they're not completely paying attention. So we'll have to see if they can find those opportunities in the game, kind of catch Method Orange off guard. I think they definitely got a fair shot.
All right, we are going to be jumping into the blind pick Underground Arena. Everybody keep in mind, this is going to be a format that we are very used to. Everything starts off Underground Arena with the blind pick, and then from there, we'll really be able to get into this best of 5 and see who is going to be taking it. The compositions are already locked in. It's time to see who's going to come out on top. Will it be Hamsti or will it be Method Orange?
So Method Orange are going to go with kind of the main comp that they've been running, the Demon Hunter Death Knight. Running the Mistweaver instead of the Shaman, just wanted to get that extra throughput. They anticipated Spell Cleave and there would be damage over time effects, so Counteract Magic for Sea-Doo is going to be super potent. But at the same time, Ellie and Shadow Priest can both remove Renewing Mist, and they can consistently remove it. This is a matchup where I think if Hamsti getting carried just play a solid game, that they'll actually be favored in the matchup, and Method Orange could be caught for a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how it goes. I'm going to be checking the gearing here, but I expect both Sam I Am and Mez to be still running the Gushing Wounds, so they're going to be able to put out a lot of pressure, and I think Hamsti, if he's not ready for it, it can definitely catch him off guard. A lot of consistent damage. They're going to have to deal with Mana Rifts from Sam I Am. This is going to be what I think is a very explosive game.
All right, Sam's choosing not to run Cover of Darkness, so his Darkness is not kind of a really good cooldown in 3v3 specifically. Hamsti getting carried, boldly going after Sea-Doo there with the Lightning Lasso. There wasn't any follow-up, so he's going to just walk it off pretty easily. They silence him and then switch to Sam and a Hammer of Justice. Good crowd control chain. Nice follow-up. Sam dipping very low, but looks like he's going to recover. Sea-Doo into a full Hex. This is a beautiful crowd control chain on Sea-Doo. They just need a bit more damage. They activate the Psy Fiend. Not going to be too devastating. Sam is going to stabilize. Still has that Metamorphosis. Jumping in for a stun Mana Rift. He's going to dodge it with his Everyman for himself. The next stun, I really want to see a Life Grip from LeBron pull Hamsti out of that Mana Rift and just avoid them at all costs. Big damage over onto Gonaz at the moment. Jumping into Ghost Wolf. Not a big fan of the positioning. I think that the Shadow Priest and the Elemental Shaman need to be standing far away from each other. I'd like to see the Elemental Shaman just pull across the map, the opposite side that Sea-Doo is on. Right now he's kind of running into the same side as Sea-Doo. LeBron's trying to set up some crowd control. He goes for a silence into a stun. Need a little bit more than a silence and a stun, though, I think, to take down the Demon Hunter. Lightning Lasso does quite a bit of damage. Want to see them just wait, just have the Psychic Core, the silence, and the fear. Go in with that, all three at the same time. Hammer of Justice the Demon Hunter. Repeat it over and over until the Demon Hunter dies. I think if they just play a standard game like that, it's going to be the way they win.
Yeah, I mean, those rinse-repeat setups, eventually you get through all the defensive cooldowns. Right now, Hamsti will be in imprisonment. Gona's taking a lot of damage here. Samai and Mez pushing forward. LeBron trying to slow it down with a nice mind control. Hex on Sea-Doo as well. But man, the Gushing Wounds from Sam, from Mez, it's going to be putting out a lot of damage. The thing is, you lose that versatility, you are susceptible to big burst setups, which is exactly what we want to see from Hamsti getting carried if they can find it. Double Chaos Nova lands once again. Hamsti, I think he actually uses Everyman for himself to get out of the stun to avoid the Mana Rift, trying to hold on to his mana for as long as possible. Big burst setup here onto Sam I Am. Could be in some trouble. Silence onto Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo, of course. And take a look at Sea-Doo's build right now. He really likes to play the healing sphere. So if you see the little green globes on the ground, Samayam and Mez are going to be able to keep themselves alive by running into those little globes, which is super effective against Shadow Priest Elemental.
His build right now is pretty insane. Vision of Perfection Major for the Mistweaver Monk means that every once in a while he's just going to randomly cast Revival like he just does right now. And when Revival happens, it dispels all magic effects. So he removes Flame Shock from 3 people, he removes Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Pain from 3 people, which is a significant portion of the damage between the Elemental Shaman and the Shadow Priest. This build is just the ultimate dot counter with the Healing Spheres on top. I mean, the Healing Spheres might not even be necessary, just adding insult to injury. Another Revival proccing from Sea-Doo, resetting all that Shadow Priest damage. They're only going to be able to win with crowd control and burst damage. They sneak in a Hex, but they need to get more crowd control chained off of that. Just a Hex is not enough. Just a Silence is not enough. Just a Stun is not enough. It needs to be a Stun into a Hex, into a Silence, into a Fear. You get all of that chained together, then you got enough crowd control that you're going to be able to take a target down. So I just want to see Hamsti getting carried, clean up that offensive crowd control. But at the moment, they're on the back foot, and Mana Rift is slowly but surely building an insurmountable advantage.
Yeah, spectating the game, you can see the little red spheres on the ground. And anytime Sea-Doo goes into crowd control, Sam-I-Am and Mez pick that up, and it slows down the go. And outside of the crowd control chains, I just don't see Method Orange losing this game. I think the build from Sea-Doo is beautiful. Sam-I-Am picks up a sphere. As you can see, a little bit of a Pac-Man minigame in the arena match, just to avoid all that damage. But a big burst setup here on a Sam-I-Am. He's forced to trinket, but they overlap it with the anti-magic zone and the lingering psychic shell. So big defensive cooldown overlap here for Method Orange. It was a bit of a scary moment, but I think they could have gotten away with, just the anti-magic zone. Now Method Orange looking to get aggressive here on the Goness. Do they have the damage to take him down? And the thing is, it doesn't really matter if they take him down at this point. If you look, they have so much pressure that Hamsti has just been burning through his mana. Mana rifts coming in from Sam-I-Am as well. We are 20 seconds away from dampening, and Hamsti is almost completely tapped on mana, which is definitely not the situation you want to be in.
All right, all 3 members of the team very low on health. They go for a stun, double stun lockdown, but Sea-Doo was able to escape it with that Revival. Proccing again. I mean, this is such a great build into a Shadow Priest. You're just going to delete them from the game with these. Another Revival. Anytime Sea-Doo has that little purple icon for 1 second next to his frame, it means Revival procced and all the dots are gone. Gonez now pops his Astral Shift to try and soak some hits while Hamsti is crowd controlled. He dodges the Mana Rift for now, but he's only got 10% mana. Sea-Doo is maxed out. Their defense looking impenetrable at the moment. Hamsti getting carried, needs the perfect go. They could potentially win on the next setup if everything goes perfectly. Sam has no way to escape a stun. Gonez going through some interrupts here. There's no Mind Freeze. There's no Disrupt. They imprison Hamsti. He Divine Shields. He knows he's going to get Mana Rifted. They need to win now. He disperses to get onto Sea-Doo to go for crowd control. Why did they Hex the Death Knight? Seems a bit unnecessary. I feel like there's no way they're going to be able to win without Hex on Sea-Doo. They got Psy-Fiend rolling onto Sam, but he just takes no damage whatsoever. He's back to full health, and Method Orange were more than ready for this composition. The build that they're running is just looking unbeatable in the matchup.
It's looking real good. I mean, Goness right now still in a lot of trouble. No Astral Shift. Hamsti, 50% health, 20% mana. Method Orange, they are just not taking damage outside of those burst windows, but they always have a response. There hasn't been a moment in the game where they don't have a major defensive cooldown in order to survive. So, I mean, at this point, what is Hamsti getting carried going to do? I think they're going to have to look for a new composition, because this one is just not going to work against what Method Orange is running. If they can find a win here, it would be an absolute miracle. Hamsti, no mana left. 10% dampening, nice crowd control chain coming in once again, trying to get some damage rolling onto Sam-I-Am, but the lightning lasso gets interrupted, and now I just feel like, Goness, his time has run out. Sam-I-Am, unless they completely throw, there's no way he goes down here. He's still got the blur, the darkness, the reverse magic if he needs it. Hamsti, though, with the Avenging Wrath, does manage to hold on a little bit longer, and the one good thing for Hamsti getting carried, they are not giving up. They're still trying to push the pace. Sam-I-Am getting a little bit low. Mez as well. Do you think they can actually do it, Sid?
If they could stay alive like another 2 minutes, but they have 0 mana. 2 minutes is a pretty long time with 0 mana. Gonez could just die at the moment. Activating the Fire Blood, removing some damage over time effects like the Gushing Wound, trying to stabilize it. The entire team is just dying. There's no Avenging Wrath. He's got a couple of Blessing of Protections in his back pocket that he's been sitting on. I'm curious when he's going to activate those. It seems like they may just need to do it now. Stun on the Hamsti. Another Mana Rift comes in from Sam-I-Am, and this is a bulletproof strategy from Method Orange. Hamsti need the perfect ultimate setup, but even if they get that, they still need to get through Anti-Magic Zone. They still need to get through a Trinket from Sam. Revivals just continue to proc from the Mistweaver. Here comes a setup. Do they have follow-up? A Psychic Horror is not going to be long enough. They silence, but it's too late. Life Cocoon's gone through, and now Gonaz could go down. He Void Shifts, but everybody is dead. It doesn't do too much. Literally everybody is dead, and Method Orange were more than ready for the strategy that Hamsti getting carried were brought. I mean, they were looking like an impenetrable wall for game one.
Yeah, now, Zico, let's talk about why it seemed so impossible with this particular compositional matchup for Hamsti to really get anything done.
Well, I feel like Ben kind of did a great job highlighting it already during the game. Obviously, so you're going to have, Maz on his DK. Very, very durable target with Death Strike healing. You have Sam on his Demon Hunter, very durable target. Can only really die if he gets 100 Ode in a Lightning Lasso, like a big one-shot happening when he doesn't have Trinket. So Sam is gonna, have a lot of self-sustain. Then you have Sidhu. He's running Revival and Vision of Perfection. So Vision of Perfection is proccing Revival, which dispels everybody and heals them essentially. And then in addition to that, he was also running Healing Spears, which is like Van kind of pointed out during the cast. He drops a little blob on the ground basically, and if his teammate walks into it, it dispels, Vampiric Touch, all of those debuffs. That all the dots that the Shadow Priest is trying to get to build up that pressure. So they're just never able to find pressure. And then when you add in the fact that they also have Mana Rift on their side with Sam, it's just going to be Method Orange basically taking 0 damage, and then eventually the Paladin is going to go out of mana, and then Method Orange is going to take the game there, and that's exactly
So
what
what else do we think that Hamsti does have at their disposal? Because we do know that Tolvaron Arena will be the next map. Zico, what are you thinking that they could bring there?
I'm not sure if their last member is a Warlock, but if he is, I think it could be time to bring out the Destruction Warlock.
Isn't it always?
It does seem
Yeah,
like...
I feel like Destro Ellie though over Destro SP, because the SP is getting a little bit too abused right now.
Well, the Elemental Shaman too. Flame Shock is so massive.
I swear there's so many builds that just, if you're a damage over time spec with magic dots, you just get just totally owned. You can't, like, that build from Mistweaver, you actually can't do anything. Like, you just don't exist in the game.
we didn't even mention that Sidhu's running counteract magic.
Yeah,
as well.
on top
So
of
if
that.
you do have dots
Even if
on you,
they're-
Sidhu is doing more healing anyway. It's a big counter, that one.
Yeah. Now we are going to see the composition locked in for Method Orange. No surprises here. As we do head to Tolvaron Arena, we started to discuss some of the things that we do think Hamsti can bring, but I do want to remind all of you, this one is for elimination. If Hamsti is not able to find some answers to what Method Orange does have, they're going to find themselves no longer in this tournament. But I want to talk about the range of, so we are going to see the Elemental Shaman and the Shadow Priest locked in from Hamsti here on Tolvaron Arena. So, Ben, how are you feeling about this?
I mean, that looked like a pretty abusive matchup, to be honest. This tells me that Hamsti getting carried, they don't really have a better option. They're just going to try to make the best of a bad situation. Yeah. Good luck to them. I feel like Method Orange has basically crafted the perfect counter comp. If Hamsti getting carried can win this game, I'm going to be very impressed. I don't know how they're going to do it. They're going to need basically perfect cross crowd control. They need to stop either Mez or Sam from picking up the healing spheres. But at the end of it all, I mean, even during their setups, if they get perfect crowd control, there's a chance Sidhu just procs a revival. And just by, sheer luck, completely counters their go and stops them from, outright killing someone. So, I mean, that could just happen at any moment. The Vision of Perfection, very powerful.
Yeah.
The Mistweaver Monk is running. And I just feel like Hamsti getting carried, they're going to need kind of a miracle at this point.
It's funny because Vision Perfection procs Revival, right? And it dispels everybody and heals, right? And that can happen when Sidhu is in crowd control.
Yep.
Like, not in this particular matchup, but if he's in a polymorph, all of a sudden, God can just dispel it, basically. And the same thing can happen in this matchup if he gets silenced.
The Hammer of Justice gets dispelled, Silence gets dispelled. It's really strong.
Good.
I wonder, actually, if it could work in a Destro, because Destro is so reliant on Immolate. They need to have Immolate to tick on a target above 80% health to get haste from their Azerite trait, Flashpoint. I wonder if Sidhu could run Vision of Perfection into Mage Lock. They get out of roots, polys, fears maybe randomly, and they remove all the immolates. I actually kind of wonder if the Vision of Perfection has more usage than just against the Shadow Priest Ellie.
Might. I mean, you do give up the very powerful Vitality Conduit, but yeah, it might be something you need to look into. Early on, we're going to see Sam-I-Am and Mez kind of continue their assault onto Gonez, onto LeBron. Once again, nice little mana rift's going to land, but a nice grip. LeBron needs to be consistently doing that, using the grip onto Hamsti to free him, but now he's just been gripped into the cleave. Big damage here. Hex onto Sea-Doo. Sam getting pressured down a little bit, but it just seems like all pressure once again is in favor of Method Orange. LeBron getting really low, having to use a dispersion. Big overlap there. Hamsti using the Avenging Wrath as well as the Ultimate Sacrifice to keep him alive. Right now, Jonas still trying to set up his team, but Hamsti just getting trained down by Sam, just getting soloed here. Even through the Avenging Wrath, he manages to catch a big heal, using the Everyman for himself as well to stop the incoming Mana Rift. But man, this is a great start for Method Orange.
Good crowd control, but Sam is just not taking any damage. Cedar just sat through a stun, a fear, and a full hex, and a silence. Sam is higher health than he started the crowd control chain. Now some damage is finally coming through, but Cedar can easily heal it. He's no longer crowd controlled. Hamsti getting carried. What can they do? I feel like maybe their only option is kill Sea-Doo, get a double Psychic Scream on the Death Knight and the Demon Hunter, stun Sea-Doo with the Lightning Lasso, Hammer of Justice, silence him, try and just kill him over and over. This go onto the Death Knight and the Demon Hunter just seems to, at least before dampening, not get anything done. Hamsti this time around is running the Gladiator's Medallion, likely to escape more Mana Rift situations. And he can also use the Life Grip from the Shadow Priest to pull him away. They could just counter every stun from the Demon Hunter. They could save a Lasso or a Psychic Horror. They could try that instead, where right here they stun Sam and stop Mana Rift, but they're not stunning him, so he's going to get a Mana Rift there off the Imprison. LeBron's also taking a ton of damage. He's just outright going to die. I mean, if Method Orange weren't going to win in the late game, they just won that game in 2 minutes, and Hamsti getting carried need to change something, I think, at this point.
I mean, sometimes you think that you might be in store for a 20-minute game, and it's just all over in 2 minutes, and that's nothing to be embarrassed about. Let's actually talk about how that does happen, though. Zico, definitely nothing to be embarrassed about there, right?
Yeah, right, Manruki?
And what do you mean, right?
I'm just kidding. He didn't have dispersed yet. So yeah, these things, I mean, it happens. It's a hard matchup. Obviously, you're not gonna have that much pressure. And the one thing that is great for casters on Tolvir is that usually you have so much space between your healer and the enemy team that you can kind of just get free healed and set up a lot of pressure. And by having that pressure, you can kind of force the melees back. But that wasn't the case here at all. Method Orange was just running circles around Hamsti here, and they're able to force out the dispersion super early. I think Sam's dress didn't even crit. I'm pretty sure if Sam crit that dress in the start, they would have just killed the Shadow Priest like outright within the first 20 seconds. But then obviously Shadow Priest didn't have his defenses, and they're able to get another setup onto him towards the end there and take him out.
Now, coming into this second game, I think it was pretty clear that with Hamsti, after the results of the blind pick, not changing anything when going into this composition from Method Orange, it's pretty clear that they did not have another answer. I think if we do see a composition change, it's somewhat of a Hail Mary pass. But I want to talk about Method Orange's overall toolkit. Super T's, what do they really offer right now in this tournament? It looks like they may be moving forward coming out of this one. And I want to start thinking about what they actually have to bring when they are going for this potentially deep lower bracket run.
Well, they've got the Death Knight, Windwalker, the Death Knight, Demon Hunter. Those are the compositions that we know them for, and they're usually the most successful with. The third composition that they've tried to bring into their wing is the Mage Warrior. So Mez has had to step up and start practicing the Warrior again. They're utilizing that composition because they've seen the success of Wildcard Gaming, and it's specifically tooled against the Destruction Warlock Fire Mage. And this is what I really want to see from Method Orange. Like, this matchup for them is honestly, the way they've built their comp is like a cakewalk. They're not going to take damage. They're pretty much bulletproof the way that they've set up their composition and their strategy. So where they're really going to be tested is when they're not in a place where the team they're fighting only has one option. And it's an option that they can counter. I want to see how they do in a Cloud9. That seems to be what has challenged them time and time again. So is their Mage Warrior Mistweaver going to be up to par to beat Cloud9? Because if it's not, then that's just going to be where they're falling short. It's where they've been falling short.
Well, now the gates are going to open. Will they be able to get themselves one step closer to seeing some of these matchups that they have fallen short in the past? Method Orange leads by 2. If they can pull down Dollar and Sewers, they will eliminate Hamsti from the tournament.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of Dalaran Sewers, to be honest, but I feel like the big map didn't work, so you may as well try to maybe run them over, but I'm skeptical, man.
I'm skeptical on any map. I just don't think they're going to... I mean, I really don't want to be negative, but I feel like Hamsti getting carried is getting absolutely countered right now. I don't know who they can possibly take down. I mean, outside of an absolute blunder, I think Method Orange should easily claim this game, but we'll see. We'll see what they can get done. Spike Trinket's going to be used. Okay, so they're going to be using Spike Trinkets or switching it up. They're trying to punish Mez, punish Sam, but with no real setup, Sam and Mez can just easily avoid those spikes. Sure, it's a little zone denial, but you're giving up a big trinket, potentially the Obsidian Claw for that spite, and it doesn't seem like Sam and Mez are really that afraid right now. Sam having to actually trade his trinket early on in the game. Not too bad of a start here for Hamsti getting carried. Nicely done. They get the lingering Psychic Shell. They get the trinket from Sam, and so far this game has looked a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, Gladiator's Medallion is a great cooldown to get from Sam. His ability to escape from a stun is now removed, and their win condition is killing Sam in a stun. This is the best start we've really seen from Hamsti getting carried on match point. They need to continue getting these setups, though. Gonaz is positioning towards Sea-Doo. They got Gladiator Spites coming up pretty soon. Curious to see how they utilize it here on the next round. Are they going to defensively place them? Sam getting tossed to the side, but Mez decides to grip Gonaz off the side, pull him back downstairs. Gladiator Spites lobbed out here. A lot of zone denial. Mez gets stunned up, but Sea-Doo sneaks in for an instant dispel. And they actually go on Mez. They just got Gladiator's Medallion and Blur. Sam pre-blurred that go, so they wanted to go Mez instead and get more cooldowns, is what I'm thinking, but Mez didn't take any damage. The dispel that snuck through, definitely a good punish by Sea-Doo.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good job. Right now, Method Orange up 2-0 in the series. Hamsti, Gonez, LeBron, they're going to have to battle it back somehow. They need to try to find a win condition. Sam has the major vulnerability here with no Gladiator's Medallion. He's got no Blur as well. We could see a nice setup, but here it is. LeBron caught into a stun, taking big damage. Hamsti's going to have to top him off. Manages to find some healing, but his mana is not looking great. Mana Rift potentially could land here from Sam once again, but Hamsti gets freed. Doesn't look like Sam really has the Mana Rift available just yet, but it's just a matter of time. I think that's one of the really difficult things for Hamsti getting carried in this matchup is it is one of those matchups where you are on a time limit just because of Mana Rift, and I think that's one of the difficult things about playing against Demon Hunter DK is you're dealing with all this damage, and then you're also getting Mana Rifted, which is really horrifying. And this is a beautiful setup here by Method Orange.
Hamsti had to use his Gladiator's Medallion on that push to try and recover. Even though they were standing in the purple zones, Sam and Mez were still just terrorizing them. Lightning Lasso, good position. He can't be interrupted, but Sea-Doo wasn't crowd controlled, so he just easily soothing missing through that. Swap over to Sam. Good punish on that Revival proc into the Psychic Scream, but they're actually still just targeting the Death Knight. Sam got a pre-blur. He didn't take any damage. They switched to the Death Knight. Mez doesn't take any damage. His dots are likely just being removed consistently. Another Revival proc from Sea-Doo's Vision of Perfection. Vampiric Embrace active from LeBron, so he's going to support the team here with a lot of healing and Void Form. That's going to save Hamsti's mana. It's keeping them at full health. Nice Lightning Lasso, perfectly timed. Silence off the Revival proc. I really like LeBron capitalizing on those Revival procs and crowd control chaining off of them. That could be one way that Hamsti getting carried can get a win here.
Ooh, nice grip double stun. Here it is. Mana Rift going to be landed once again. Really nicely done there by Mez and Sam. I mean, they're always on point with those grips, with those setups, and it's causing big pressure. Right now, Hamsti is going to have to play catch up. He's in an imprisonment. Eats another Mana Rift. This poor Paladin right now. Sam is absolutely abusing him in this matchup. Just 4 minutes into the game, Hamsti foresees the Divine Shield off the back of Sam. Just putting out massive damage. I mean, the stuns, the Mana Rifts, they all start to add up. They get the Divine Shield, and things are slowly but surely, well, not even slowly, quickly falling apart here for Hamsti.
I feel like if I was Hamsti getting carried, I would be so tilted right now, but they're still trying to play it out. Sam pre-blurs again. That Hammer of Justice is not going to do anything. If he activates Blur, it's going to reduce damage by 25%, I believe, with the way that he's talented. And it's not like Lady Di is taking 25% less damage. They grip the Shadow Priest out of line of sight. Hamsti's trying to roll up, but he doesn't want to run into a Mana Rift, so he tries running away. He breaks out of the stun to dodge the Mana Rift, picks LeBron up with a heal. They drop the Gladiator Spite onto LeBron on that Shadow Priest. They're staggering them a little bit to try and get some area control so Shadow Priest can cast and reduce some damage, but they're just going to switch to the Elemental Shaman. Imprison into Mana Rift. Another one landed on the Hamsti. Another one down below 50%. Hex sneaks in onto Sea-Doo, but there's no stun lock, so Sam is going to leech heal quite easily through the damage. Sea-Doo's looking comfortable on mana. His Revival procs. Goodbye, Vampiric Touch onto everybody. Double stun here by Sam into another Mana Rift. This is just devastating for Hamsti getting carried. They absolutely need a miracle.
It's been devastating throughout this entire game, and I hate to laugh at it, but this is just, I don't know what they could possibly do here. Everyone on Method Orange has all the defensive cooldowns. They're looking for a Hail Mary, potentially. Sea-Doo gets caught into a Disarm, into a Hex, so he's in crowd control. Hamsti pushing forward, looking for a little bit more, but look at Mez and Sam. They're just full health. They're just 100% health in the matchup. Gonas trying to get some damage rolling right now, throwing in the Spike Trinket, trying a little bit of zone denial to try to keep LeBron alive. He's going to be sitting in those puddles in order to just avoid damage. Mez just grips him out, though. Now, once again, LeBron's going to be taking a little bit of punishment here, but the Blessing of Freedom from Hamsti allows him to reposition himself a little bit. Sea-Doo rolls in, looking for some additional crowd control. Gets the Paralyze. Mana Rift on Hamsti lands once again. Method Orange, they look like they're confident in this position. They're going to be pushing in. This is the first time we've seen Sea-Doo really push in and get aggressive in the matchup so far.
Oh, he's stunned up by a Hammer of Justice. Is there any follow-up? Psychic Scream, good crowd control. They stun Sam. They go for the Stormkeeper. Big Earth Shock. No blur for a moment, but the crowd control is not long enough. They mind control Sam off the side, but he's like, okay, thanks for mind controlling me to your Paladin. Stun, Mana Rift. Hamsti has to Trinket to dodge it. Revival procs again for Sea-Doo. And now all the dots are gone. LeBron has to apply Vampiric Touch to everybody again. Mind controls Sam off the side. I like these mind controls on Dalaran. Maybe they should have gone for a Blade's Edge or something and utilized the mind control. That could have been an option, but it might be too little too late here on Dalaran. Hamsti gets stunned up into another Mana Rift. Now he's at 10% mana, and he even switched his Paladin build to full mana regen, I think. He's got a Spite and then the Fangs of Intertwined Essence. He's got Lucid Dreams Miner. He's got Ever Rising Tide Miner. Even building his Paladin for just the maximum mana efficiency. He's just out of mana, so I'm not sold on this, man. I'm trying to figure out if there's a light at the end of the Method Orange tunnel for Hamsti getting carried, but if there is, it's so small.
Yeah, Hamsti now literally completely tapped on mana. 15% dampening. Once again, Sam, Mez, they're going to be pushing forward. LeBron and Gonas trying to get something going here. Looking for a full Hex. Sea-Doo gets out of line of sight, and Mez also interrupts it, so a double stop there onto Gonas' crowd control, and it is going to be a Drestagat that once again closes it out. I mean, Method Orange, they were very prepared for this matchup, and that was about the most one-sided series I think I've seen.
I feel like
this
we
year.
aren't allowed to show